Hey everyone, Andrew here, bringing you another video. And today we're going to be doing another edition of What I Am Thinking. Now, for those who are new to my channel and know nothing about this video series, it is exactly how it sounds. It is about what I am thinking. And it could be about anything. It could be about The Rock, it could be about Power Rangers, it could be about politics, movies, anything. And today is going to be a very personal what I am thinking, for lack of a better term. Uh, this is something that I kind of wanted to talk about for the past few months, and something that I've been actually wanting to kind of talk about for a while. And it's something very close and near and dear to me. Don't worry, it's not anything shocking or bad. Oh no, what happened? Oh my god. But it is something that is very personal to me. It's something that I really want to talk to you guys about. I wanted to talk about this earlier. However, life is busy. I've been busy job searching. I've been busy doing karate. I've been busy wedding planning with my fiance. I've been busy working. I've just been busy with everything. So there's no real format or any way that I'm gonna lead into this. So basically, what I would like to talk to you guys about is one of my goals that I set in my life, and one of the biggest things that I've had to uh, accomplish and overcome. See, I'm a very goal-driven person, and I set goals in my life. Like, for example, one of my goals in my life was to become a black belt because I love karate and I love martial arts to death. And I became a black belt. I am a fourth degree black belt certified instructor in Shaolin American Kempo Karate. It's one of the things I love doing more than anything else. Actually, it probably is the thing that I love doing more than anything else. But that was a goal. I reached the goal. I set it. Boom. It took some time to get to, but boom, I did it. Another goal that I had, and as cheesy as it sounds, was I had a goal that I wanted to find someone, fall in love with that person, and get married. And I am accomplishing that goal. I found someone, I've fallen in love, and I'm going to be getting married to them. I'm a very goal-oriented person. Not always are my goals what other people would categorize as goals, but, they're goals. They're things that I set, the things that I want to do. And I have to say, one of the biggest goals that I wanted to set for myself was I wanted to go to college and get a college education, which I have to say has probably been my most daunting goal. And a few months ago, I finished college in December, but I want to say about a month or two ago, I got in the mail my college degree from the University of Massachusetts. Yes, that's my full name, Andrew George Shelton. And I got my college degree in the mail. And it was, you have one of those moments where everything feels surreal and it's just like everything hits you at once and you don't know what to think. It's basically what happened to me. This happened, and it felt very surreal, and I didn't know what to think about it. I didn't know how to react to it because this was one of the biggest accomplishments I could ever obtain. Now, of course, there's the goals that people set in their life, like get a good job, raise a healthy and good family, and have that bucket list. But for me, the biggest goal I've ever had to accomplish is getting my college degree, bachelor's in the science of business and administration. I don't like the science part, but hey, whatever. I'm just gonna put it down there. And let me talk to you guys very candidly and very openly about why this is a big thing for me. And this is something I really talk about with a lot of people. The reasons why it was such a hurdle. I was not always the best student in school. Not necessarily because I was a troubled child or because I didn't want to be a good student. I, more than anything, wanted to be a good student. Um, it was always a struggle for me for several reasons because I've had a lot of setbacks in my life. A lot of which I didn't know until recently. For example, I have ADD. Um, and it's anyone that has ADD knows how it can be a struggle when it comes down to school and when it comes down to studying and when it comes down to academia. It's a tough challenge. It definitely makes you have to work harder than I think some of the other people would. Not to pick on anyone or anything, but my fiance, she can wait till the last minute to do something and get an A plus on it, where I have to work twice as hard and twice as long in advance and get a B, where she would get an A. She's just naturally smart. She's just not as driven as I am, but she is naturally smart. Um, and so that's one thing I've always had to overcome. It was, I guess, so bad that I remember this happening in school, that in one of my grade schools, um, because I went to quite a few schools. Uh, in it, one of the teachers said, or I don't remember if they're a teacher because this is way back when I was like, I don't know, 10 or 11, but one of the teachers or one of the people that assess students say that I would be lucky if I could pass high school. And when you're like 10 years old, what a blow that is to you that that would happen. I found out, and I never knew this, but apparently I had hearing problems when I was younger, and I was deaf. There could have been a possibility that I was deaf. Um, I also had speech problems because of it. I didn't speak until I was nine, not nine. Wow, that would have been weird. Until I was around 3 years old. That's when I started to speak. It's funny story about it, making light on kind of a depressing situation, is that I went to a speech therapist that spoke Spanish as their first language. So with certain words, I speak with a Spanish accent. For example, I have to force myself to say banana because I say banana. I know it sounds silly. You probably think I'm making this up, but I'll be like, "Hon, can you get me a banana?" And I say it very naturally as banana. I don't say banana. I say banana. There's other words, but I don't realize it until I actually do it. Like bagel, I say bagel. Can you get me a bagel? It's just weird. So I had to go through that when I was younger. I have sight problems. I'm nearsighted, but that's not really anything that affects academia. But throughout my school career, I've always been told that things are going to be tougher for you. You're going to be lucky if you pass school, pass high school, and what you should probably do is go into a trade. And there's nothing wrong with anyone that goes into a trade that wants to become a carpenter or a plumber or work with their hands and work with tools. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that, but that's not what I wanted. So I guess out of spite of what people said, and because I wanted to prove something to them, and more importantly to myself, I made it a goal, and quite possibly my biggest goal, that I wanted to accomplish college. I wanted to go to college, and I wanted to, well, I just wanted to succeed. I wanted to get this degree, this degree so bad because, for one thing, it shows that with perseverance and with vigilance and with constant hard work, anything is accomplishable. Second thing is, it maybe in a silly way, it proves to me, and I like to think it proves to other people that I am an intellectual individual in some way. I mean, that sounds kind of conceited, but it shows that I have worth when it comes down to intellect. That I would like to say, I dare say, smart. And I found out that I am smart, but I'm in smart in different ways. I think the biggest thing that I've learned going into college is, while I may not be, smart when it comes down to numbers, I've had to learn how to be flexible. I've had to be adaptable. I've had to think outside the box constantly. I've had to manage time, and I've had to learn how to work with people. And probably more importantly than anything is, I had to learn how to take what tools I had, what little tools I had, and utilize those to the best of my ability. There's times when I would have a project, a team project, where I would have 5 people on a team and only one other person is working with me, and I had to go bust my ass, do something, get it done here while I go to work there, and I had to set things up here and then do stuff there, and it's just, I've had to learn how to do things differently. And I found that I am, well, again, nowhere near the people when they come to the intellect in engineering or in mathematics and stuff of that nature. I hated math. I hated math with a passion. Math is my arch nemesis. But well, I learned I may not be that. I've learned that my skills, my intellect, is in the business aspect. I learned how to sell myself. I learned how to sell a product. Learn how to coordinate things, coordinate people. There was a class we had called Managing Teams and Projects, and on it, we everyone was given a team role: the facilitator, the timekeeper, the note keeper, and leader, and so on and so forth. And the role that I felt most at home was is in the leadership role. Again, that sounds kind of egotistic, but that's what I felt comfortable with, and that's what I felt, and that's what the team needed, is that I could coordinate people under that role. So I've really had to learn how to be smart, but in a different way. Now, you guys are probably wondering, why are you sharing this, Andrew? Is it to stroke your ego, or is it because there's actually something behind this, what I'm thinking? Well, there's two reasons why. Well, actually, there's kind of 2 to 3 reasons why I'm sharing this. The first reason is because I kind of want to share this to you guys because this is something I don't talk about that much. I don't talk about my ADD. My fiance didn't know I had ADD until, God, 2 or 3 years into it. It's just something I don't talk about. I don't see it as something that holds me back, but rather an ally, a tool that I have to use to work harder. If it wasn't for the, I don't want to say learning disabilities, but if it wasn't for the things that I have, I wouldn't have learned to be the hard worker that I am. But it's something that I kind of wanted to just share with you guys. And the reason why I want to share it with you guys is, and this is going to sound really corny and really silly, but I feel as though you guys out there on YouTube, and again, this is going to sound really silly, you guys are kind of like a family. You guys are kind of like a friends. There's a lot of times during college, um, there were some pretty rough times, some dark times. I originally went to North Shore to save up money and to transition to college easier. And after leaving North Shore, I had like a 3 point something grade point average. I went to UMass Lowell. UMass Lowell is the fastest rising non-private school, college-wise, in Massachusetts, and it is one of the hardest schools you'll ever go to. It may not look that way, but it is a hard school. They hold certain programs up to high regards, in particular their engineering and their business and their mathematics. Um, Not so much when it comes down to the liberal arts, the English, the politics, or the oh God, I'm drawing blank, history and stuff like that. But more the mathematical business and their, the mathematics, engineering, and business. Those they hold a higher regards, and it's tough. So when I went to UMass Lowell, the first semester, and I can remember, I have 4 or 5 classes. I got an A, B, B, had to drop a class, and I had a C minus in another class. Now, the funny thing is I went. That was probably the hardest semester for me because the one that I got the C minus in, we had 2 tests. And the first test we took, which is basically midterm and final, first test that we took was, you take the test, and in the test I did a negative instead of a positive, and because of which my whole entire answer, and there was only 3 questions on there, my whole entire answer was wrong. So I got a 50. I got an F. And the teacher sat down with me in front of the class and basically said, "You're not going to pass this class. You should drop it." You know what I said to her? "Screw you. I'm going to pass this class." And I did. It's a C minus, but I passed it. But there was a lot of classes like, oh, business finance, the bane of everyone's existence. Business finance, 200 students entered the class when I first went there. 175 of them got below a 40 on the first test. I had to drop business finance and retook it, but I had 1 or 2 bad classes, like the math classes, that brought my grade point average down to like a 2.4, and it was a heavy blow to me. and I would have to build up, and eventually I got out with a good grade point average. But the reason why I'm telling you guys this is because there was a lot of rough times, a lot of dark times in college, and while I could convey my feelings to my fiance, who was my girlfriend at the time, um, and while I could convey my feelings to my friends or convey it to my parents, I think the thing that helped me a lot, maybe not the most, but definitely a lot, was you guys doing videos, talking with you guys online. Um, it felt like an escape. It felt like I could go to another world, a world where there was no judging, there was no grading, there was no worrying. It was, camaraderie among brothers and sisters who read comics and play video games. Um, so that's why I'm sharing it to you guys because, a lot of people, and I said this a million times, a lot of people do YouTube because they want to be popular or because they want to make money off it or they just want to subscribe, have people subscribed, and whatever the reason. I do YouTube because it's something I enjoy and I get something back from it. And I think the biggest thing I get back is normally I would have maybe two or three friends that know comic books. I have 2,600 and plus friends. Friends, not fans, not subscribers, friends on YouTube, you guys, that I can talk with, that I can discuss things with, and that I can go to and kind of just relax. And I cannot thank you guys enough. You have, indirectly, whether you know it or you don't, you guys have helped me through some of my roughest times. I do thank you a lot. So that's another reason why I'm sharing this with you guys. Last reason why I'm sharing this with you guys is to anyone out there that is currently in high school or going into high school or is finished with high school. Um, I highly recommend you go to college. And I highly recommend you do it for several reasons. First and foremost, a college education will get you much further in life than a high school or GED. That's just facts. While you can get a good job with a GED or a high school education, your quality of life will go up higher if you get that college education. And it's not easy to go to college. The amount of money you have to pay to go to college is ridiculous. But if some way you can find a way to finance it, it will pay you back tenfold in the future. Because with that college education, you can make a better quality of life for yourself, a better quality of life for your spouse, and a better quality of life for your family if you choose to have children. Um, I mean, I'm just entering the big job market, but I know that now. And um, second thing, the reason why I'm sharing this with you, second reason why you should go to college is because it helps you become you. It will flat out in a very almost black and white and even cruel way tell you this is what you're good at, this is what you're bad at, this is what you need to do to change and become better. College will do that for you, and it's a good thing that it does that too. It's brutal, it's honest, it's hard, but it will make you stronger and it will make you a better you. And lastly, for those people that have had obstacles like I have, that have had people say no, or people say, well, it's going to be tough, don't listen to them. Or if you listen to them, take that and use it as fuel. There is nothing that you can't accomplish, especially in college education. And I believe in people, and I believe everyone has the opportunity to go to college and to succeed. If you go there and you work your ass off, you don't party, you don't go and, you know, get the college experience and, try weed out or drink here and there. If you go and you work your ass off, it will pay off. And I think don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Because this piece of paper right here, it's a piece of paper. but it means more to me than every comic book put together or every video game that I own because it's was the toughest thing I've ever had to do up to this point. Who knows, um, when I enter the big job market, things might be tougher, but I'll be stronger because of this. So, I mean, I know I got on for about 20 minutes now, but this is something very near and dear to me, something very personal that I wanted to share. And more importantly, I want to thank you guys for just, being you. But yeah, I'm gonna end this review here, or not review, but this video. If you want to comment, or if you want a video respawn, go right ahead. As always, I like to hear what you guys are thinking. With that said, I'm gonna end this. This is Andrew saying peace out for now.